because less than 3% of you people read books. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. You're beginning to believe the illusions. This is mass madness, you maniac. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.
What's up? Welcome to IdiotBox Television. We are on episode 97. We will be talking about the singer Jill Scott controversial national anthem. My name is VP
Troy Everett.
And I'm drummer, y'all, DJ Drumtastic. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I was practicing before. Now I just messed up. You know, but that's okay. I'm gonna get better.
Oh, you get better every week, man.
I should have asked you to say it to me to make sure you had it, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Controversy.
Controversy.
Controversy. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Ms. Jones, thanks for joining in. We got a great subject today, talking about Jill Scott and her controversial national anthem.
How many people?
Hey, Sheena Brown.
How many people?
Thank you for coming on.
A lot of people heard about it or didn't hear about it but didn't see it. So if you didn't see it, stay tuned. You will see it tonight.
Yeah.
Ryan. Matter of fact, Art just sent me a picture. Let me see if I can bring it up. Put it in the chat. We've got the official tomato plant, IdiotBox Television tomato plant. He just sent a picture. So if you guys haven't seen, it was 2 episodes ago, Art talked about gardening. He gave us some tips, and he planted a I forgot what it was. Art, tell us what it was again. It was what type of tomato? Let me upload it real quick so we can take a look at it.
Yep, that was very interesting. Yep, I'm still working on my garden too.
So here is the official IdiotBox Television tomato plant.
Right.
Man,
wow.
Fast.
That thing's gotten huge.
Wow.
That's 3 weeks. It was about
Yeah.
this big when he planted it.
Wow.
And we appreciate that, man. Thanks, Art.
Jacqueline Kirkwood, thank you for joining in.
Yep, you take the green tomatoes and fry them.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, how's you guys this week? How's everybody's week going?
I know, that's right.
Thursday is just about over.
Yeah, I had it all week. Yep.
Yeah, it's almost over with, man. A lot of things happening this week. This week kind of sucked, man. Glad it's almost over with.
Why you say that?
Just all kinds of things. Like drummer, you had a problem with your water heater. I had to get my water heater replaced.
My daughter had water heater replaced.
See, something's going on. So I sent him the measurements of where it goes, and it goes into this area in the back. So it's got its own enclosure. And when they pull up, I look at the water heater. I'm like, And that's a big ass water heater. There's no way it's gonna fit. I gave you guys the dimensions, so they're like, yeah, we can't. It's not gonna be able to fit in there. So it was a 45 gallon water tank that we had before, and this is like a 60
Oh,
gallon water tank. So I had to cut out an extra door in order for it to fit.
Wow.
I had to wait another 2 days for them to come back out and put it back in. So at least I got hot water.
You know, I got mine put in a year and a half ago.
yeah,
Mine actually blew out, and water was everywhere.
mine was a
Yeah.
told me I had to go up to 50. It's 50 or higher now. They changed the code.
Mm.
Yeah.
But um,
Yeah,
Now they got that box that goes right next to the on the floor, so that way it won't spread out.
right.
You be able to hear it like an alarm. I didn't have that at the time.
Hey, Lachey, thank you for joining in today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We're waiting on Sheena's book. She's supposed to get her book ready so we could check it out.
that's right. Let's not forget justice for Jalen.
Yes, Justice for Jalen. And we promise we're going to have another. We're going to go back and revisit that once we get some more information from the parents, Lachey and Mr. Malloy. We're going to definitely I said it definitely. We're going to revisit that.
Yeah, I'll write that down right now so we won't forget that.
So my week was kind of shitty, but it always gets better.
That's right. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna say, what happened?
Yeah, you're right, Art.
Now I'm gonna
You're
say,
right.
let's not forget about the gear. Troy, what you got on today? You just got on the hat.
I just got on the hat today.
Now that shirt Troy's got on, we have some of those too with the logos on it.
Right, with the logos.
With the logos. Okay, Sharice got on the vest.
That's
And
the best.
got on a different shirt up underneath with the hats. Okay, I'm gonna put up a link. So if you want to go for some t-shirts, hoodies, etc., go to www.troyeverett.net and click shop. Come on, let's support. We the only ones buying them. What's up with that? What's up with that? Also, what I'm also going to say is, I don't know if you guys, everybody was here for our Blacklist show, where we put it on for the small businesses and help market them, advertising, all that type of stuff. So it was a great show. We're actually going to do part 2 of that show. When we going to do it, Troy? We don't have a time yet.
So what's up?
The Blacklist.
Blacklist part 2.
Okay.
But anyway, you guys. Troy, do the duty.
Yeah, so for those who don't know what the Blacklist is a Facebook book group we put together for small and, basically any small business owners or entrepreneurs where you can showcase your skills, your products, and your services, and you can share between the people in the group. People have been getting jobs from it. And there's a lot of good product out there. People have been, purchasing product back and forth. So make sure you join it. And if you know anybody, that has a small business or is starting a small business, make sure they put them into the Facebook group there. Drummer's been doing a great job. We've got a lot of businesses. It's growing very quickly, and we're really proud of it.
The Black out. Put your people in there. Put yourself in there. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah, we'll never forget Jalen. No, not ever. We definitely need to get justice for Jalen. It's going to be 1 year. For those who don't know, Jalen is Mr. and Mrs. Malloy's son. He was taken in on a misdemeanor into a county jail when he shouldn't have been, and he did not make it out of the county jail. He was murdered inside the county jail, and we want justice for Jalen, whether it's the head of those that are there. This shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Right.
Right.
It was changing over and over and over again. It just wasn't, I don't know. They just didn't represent it like they should have. And it was, sometimes your own people will do it to you.
Yeah. But again, I believe it's Clayton County. Clayton County, Georgia, is horrific when it comes to the abuse that they put on our people. This is not the first time this happened in this correctional facility. So we got to really amp that up. Like I said, we'll have another show about it. We'll rehash it and get some more information for what's going on there. Yeah, she said Clayton County. Clayton County is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. From the police chief to the mayor, all you guys are assholes. You need to step down.
Yeah, they're doing a terrible job.
They're doing a terrible job.
Terrible job.
So, yeah, the prosecutor, Greg says to the prosecutor, everybody.
It's like they're trying to cover up something.
Yeah, they try to throw the whole thing away. They're definitely trying to cover their asses because they know what they did was wrong. What they did was wrong. And again, we're going to let you guys come on. Let's schedule a date. Email us what will be a good time for both of you to come on so we can re-talk about that. I know it's painful to talk about it, but we got to make people aware. I mean, we've got a small platform here, but if everybody starts sharing that video, and it'll be a whole hour show, but what we'll do is I'll chop up bits and segments that we can shoot out that'll bring more, I guess, traffic to the situation or more eyeballs to the situation. So I think we need to take a whole month and plan that out.
Yeah.
A whole month to plan that out to where we have the show, we talk about it, and then we'll accumulate the clips and everybody share these clips that we put out. Everybody on the platform, share it to your social media, share it in emails to whoever you know. So I think we need to really sit down and plan this out so it's very, very effective.
Well, see, they post a lot themselves, both of them, Mr. and Mrs. Malloy. So along with them two, and then us, that'll get it out to more on all of our platforms and just different things. Tagging people is something that works good too. Some people ain't gonna pay attention to it, but some people will. So you win some.
Art says not everyone has PayPal, So he's talking about our website. We're supposed to have a new website this month up and running to where, you can pay through credit card and other ways other than PayPal. So we'll keep you guys updated to that. Thanks, Art. Shay says from the rooter to the tutor, talking about Clayton County. Mm-hmm. It's terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, for our son and others that have lost family members. Right. And again, like I said, this is not the first time it's happened in Clayton County. Nope. So we got to let's keep some of these people accountable for what happened. And again, we're going to take a whole month and we're going to figure out what's the best avenue. Even if we have to get paid ads, we'll run paid ads. So this is seen.
That's one of the main reasons why we started this. Not we did it for a reason. Not just doing the podcast because everybody else is doing it. We was doing stuff like this years ago. What was it? Early 2000s?
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, we definitely need to support Jalen because it don't seem like it going all over. Everybody needs to understand what it's not okay. No.
Yeah.
That's a bug. You put a bug in us. You said definitely, Sharif.
I don't even know how to say it.
Oh, oh my goodness.
Y'all say
All saying definitely.
it.
What's going on, Sharif? Thanks for joining in. We are all saying it. What is Art talking about?
It says you're a little low. Just crank up your.
No.
Just crank it up just a little bit, man.
Already cranked up. It probably has a lot to do with. Remember, I told you I don't talk loud all the time. So okay. Now my mic is jumping. Art, I don't think you're listening loud enough, Art. I don't think
I just did that.
my volume is jumping. Okay. How do I sound now, Art?
Yeah, it sounds better.
I'm gonna speak up a little bit. I tend to talk low. So anyway,
Yes.
Okay.
now you guys, have you guys heard about this whole water situation thing? It's been floating around. I've read a little bit on it. Our water is supposed to be contaminated with, what did I say it was?
Forever chemicals.
Chemicals. What is forever chemicals?
Forever chemical.
Just like I also read something that said the beach is full of a certain percentage of feces. All beach.
Well, yeah, you got fish shitting in it all day long. There's got to be some feces in there.
Okay.
And aspartame also, it's a sweetener. You'll find in like all the Diet Cokes and everything like that.
Yeah.
It has cancer-causing agents. So aspartame is now bad. Everything's bad. The water's bad. Sweet stuff is bad. There you go.
Yeah,
We want to
water.
hear your sexy. He said he wants to hear your sexy voice.
Thanks, Art. I appreciate it, Art. Thank you. But yes, like you said, is there anything safe? Bottled water, we don't know what's safe anymore.
Yeah.
What's safe to eat, what's safe to drink.
Right.
That's why you go back and you watch Art's show, The Salsa King, on how to grow your own food in your backyard.
Yep.
Yeah,
Make sure you go back and watch that episode.
okay, so that means that we gotta find a hole for the well water then.
Well, yeah.
If you have it in the yeah.
Because what else you gonna use the water stuff with but from a water hole? Unless you make your own water. So you get a big thing of water, you put all your pH in it to clean it up, and then you use that to water your plants.
Okay, what if you boil it? If you boil it, then it'll clear all that out too.
You know what? That may be true, but it can't be hot water.
Well, you can still wait till it be cool it off and then put some ice in it later.
Okay. Go ahead and read, Troy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Sheena says she has some video footage of Jalen as a part of his documentary. Pull out some videos of her nephew. I have been on the floor laughing lately. I was trying to surprise y'all, Shay and Greg. Guess what? Your father's in the video as well. Love y'all, and I'm praying for your strength. Yeah, that would be great to have. Now, visuals are very important, especially when you're trying to get a message across. The pictures of Jalen and him, growing up, and there's he's not ever going to reach a certain age, and these visuals will help tell his story. So thank you, Sheena. Yeah, we definitely we're going to tell his story and the story of this corrupt Clayton County. So like I said, we're going to take a month. We're going to take a month to put this together. So it's done professionally. It looks good. Get interviews with the family members.
Right.
Yeah. So it'll be something. We're going to professionally do it.
No.
All right. So we get into this hot topic. Some people aren't going to like this topic.
No, they're not. Like I said, a lot of people don't know this topic, or the video it haven't ran across it yet. So let's go with it. Let's go with it, Joe. You got it?
Go ahead.
I got it. Excuse me.
Wow.
So let me just, before we even get started, let me just play the video. I think it has the captions. It's kind of small. There's so many videos out there on YouTube, and I just really didn't get a chance to go through them all. But let's just take a quick look at this. All right, get this up and ready. Share screen.
What you meant that this place doesn't smile. What you meant on you, what you meant. Who's blood built this land? With sweat and their hands. What you meant. But you know you miss the place. And your memory watch me, make. Oh, say of this truth. Oh, anyway. This is not the land of the
Yeah, so there it is. There it is. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people have issues with it. Both sides of the aisle. I think it's an artistic expression. I think that this is just my opinion. It has the echoes of Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit. So we would like to know what you guys think about that. And we want both sides of the aisle. If you went to the if you had watched if you look at the discussion line, we've posted people who are for and against what Jill has done. I think it's artistic expression. Does the national anthem mean the same to African Americans as it does everybody else? What about you, drummer? Let's go down the line.
Wait.
You're muted.
No, because the regular version is live.
Yeah. So, what about you, Sharif?
I don't. Let's do it again. We just
What do you feel as an African American? What do you feel about the Star Spangled Banner, and what do you know of it?
African American. I don't think we feel it. I don't think we feel it because it's just we don't feel it. It's just a flag. It's a flag, but we don't like what you said about being free on the land. It's like we don't feel that way. No.
We don't.
But
Yes. So the Star Spangled Banner, I agree. So the Star Spangled Banner was written on events that happened in the War of 1812. In the War of 1812, shortly after that, the Star Spangled Banner was written, and it was uh, we were still slaves at that time, and what they sing is only the first of four stanzas of that poem. So if you read the whole poem, there's an excerpt in that third stanza, I believe, the third stanza that says, matter of fact, so I don't paraphrase it, let me go ahead and bring it up. I posted it on my Facebook when this first came out. So the third, I believe it's the third stanza. There's a part in there that says, foul footsteps of the hireling and the slave, who no refuge could save from the gloom of the grave. So it's glorifying the death of the British soldiers who invaded America, plus the slaves, the American slaves that exiled to British to fight for their freedom. Those Africans or slaves are our ancestors. So this is why I think there needs to be a discussion on some of these things. I think this is why there needs to be a discussion on these things, because you have crucial race theory and people don't like crucial race theory because it brings some of the old, it scrapes at the old wounds, right?
Yeah.
This song wasn't, we weren't in mind at all when this song or this poem was written.
Right.
There's something called the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice, right? And people were mad because it was saying at the NFL, we shouldn't have two, it's divisive. They say it's divisive. We shouldn't have two national anthems. But the first national anthem was written, it was written when we were still enslaved. So yeah, we have an issue with that. So we'd like to hear what you guys have to say out there, on both sides. Should we get over it? Is this something, is this just something that's just trivial?
All the different countries have their own anthem,
Mm-hmm.
but it's how I don't know how the words are in there because I don't know their language, but our language is saying now from Jill Scott, which is her song is very expressive, but it's I thought American is free speech, but
Right.
I remember when I was young, you don't understand, but when you standing there and then go to the basketball game or a different sports and stuff, and then we gotta put our hands up right here. Then when they start, the flag goes up and everything, we have to look. But when I had mine down, my teacher would say, "Hey, put your hand up." No, I gotta do this, but don't know why. But when I got older, I realized that I see people while when I was playing basketball, I had me stand up and look, and I'm watching people, and they don't do this anymore.
Right.
Then
Greg says,
I understand why.
right.
It's history
Well,
of
right. It's the history. And I think we need to uncover all the history, right? Because there's his story and there's history. There's history behind that Star Spangled Banner that excluded people that are now here in the United States that were enslaved. I'm sorry, Miss Brown, Nicole Brown, you're right, enslaved, not slaves. So enslaved, and I was listening to somebody talk about, how we say slaves. It doesn't make them. How did he say it? It doesn't make it personable. Now, if you say enslaved, yeah, these are people that are enslaved. They weren't slaves. They weren't, they were enslaved. So I thank you for correcting me. Greg says their original national anthem was divisive, but they expect us to conform. Right. Shelley Lyle says, "Hi, yes, it does remind me of Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit." Yes, we talked about that earlier. That's my Aunt Shelley, and we talked about that. which she was killed because of the song. Yeah, she couldn't get. They didn't want her to play that song at all. They didn't want her to sing the song. FBI was on her ass about this song. If you go read the book of Billie Holiday, it was pretty bad for her. So it's important that we need to teach history in order that history doesn't repeat itself, which is absolutely correct. And I don't think we need to exclude some things, and it needs to be taught. So, crucial race theory, I'm not all for it, but what I am for is unveiling what happened throughout history. There shouldn't be a Black History Month. That's bullshit, because it's U.S. history. Period. Art. Let's see what Art has to say. You're the first person to articulate why the national anthem isn't supported by most of the Black community for me. This is why discussions don't take place. If I've never heard this, how in the heck are the majority of the conservatives and white folks supposed to understand this? You're right, Art.
Wow.
Great point. That is a
Great point, Art. That's a great point. So we have to understand each other's plight in order to understand where we're coming from. This is why Kaepernick had no problems kneeling at the flag, and that was a huge problem for people. You don't kneel during the national anthem. Don't kneel. But that flag in the national anthem, I mean, what was the biggest? The Boston Tea Party. What was that? That was a display. That's how this country was actually founded. The Boston Tea Party. It was like taking a knee. No, you're not taxing our tea. Okay, you want to tax our tea? We're gonna dump it in the river. Lachey, I got more out of the emojis than the Spanish words. But yes, Art, that's why we're so glad that you're on. My dog's barking. Be right back.
Yes, Art, we're glad that you came on, Art, because if you think about it, there's probably a lot of people who don't know why we don't like or even respect that national anthem. So
You know,
that's
you know,
important.
Jill Scott wrote that song when she was 19 years old, and now she's 51 and she put it on.
Yeah, that was something she did a long
Time ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and she just happened to do it.
Wow.
Live. Everything happens for a reason. So you saved it for the right time.
Yeah.
A lot of people are upset about it, but
Yeah.
I would say the truth hurts.
The truth
hurts because it's a lot of stuff in that it doesn't represent all people.
Yeah.
Not at all. It doesn't. What else we got here? No taxation without representation. Exactly. So when we first put up that we were going to do this show, people were sending me messages. Some people were commenting like I'm going to come and watch the show. But it's crazy how a lot of people hadn't seen the video. So that goes to show what they push out there to us. A lot of negativity that we see all day, every day. Negativity. We watch it. What? They've been showing us more of what is that thing that went underwater? The Titanic. They've been showing us more of that than anything. I think there's some more important things than a bunch of billionaires going on a death mission, as I would call it. Excuse me if I upset anybody, but I think that was a death mission.
Yeah, that was crazy. They're stupid.
That got all the attention, and we had other things that should have got more attention than that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really look at this because she wrote this when she was 19 years old. So she's been feeling about this is what she's felt about the national anthem. And you gotta really listen to it and from her perspective, right? The land was built. This land was built off of free labor. Yep. This country is so great because of this free labor that the enslaved people. Now, don't get me wrong. There's white indentured servants. You know, this country didn't treat, when they first came over, the Irish, they didn't treat the Irish very well either. They didn't treat, the Italians when they came over. They didn't treat them well either. But none of these people were treated as bad as the African American, period.
No. And you know what? It's weird how to this day there's a lot of people that think it's over exaggerated. We're lying. Like, as long as this has been talked about,
Right.
there's still people out there like, oh, they need to stop talking about it. And it's like,
Yeah,
wow.
but you need to stop talking about it, right? Well, let's put some dates into perspective here. The War of 1812, when the War of 1812, when shortly or during that war, the Star Spangled Banner was written, right? 1812. Emancipation of the slaves was until 1865. That's 50 years after the Star Spangled Banner was written. Right? Okay, so now we have the Emancipation Proclamation that goes in effect. And then we have from 1877 to 1964. When were you born, drummer?
67.
So 3 years before Drummer was born, we still had Jim Crow. We still had Jim Crow laws throughout the South. People were getting lynched. People were getting in. So in his lifetime, you know, it's not too far removed. And people think, hey, we don't have systematic racism. It is. Well, this country was actually built on racism. And the Indians got it even worse. Okay, what Greg said, everything that occurred to Black people we were expected to just get over it. It's old history, and we aren't in those times anymore. Yet here we are in 2023, still not free. No matter how much money or land we hold, they still feel we are inferior, and the anthem proves that. Well, that's exactly what Mr. Scott, the guy who wrote the anthem, said, that Africans were subhuman. They were inferior.
Right.
So Lachey says, and they have every right to express themselves too, but also, fuck them, I'm sorry. Okay, Art, what you got to say? So what's the answer? Here is where we need to get to. What is the answer? What is the answer? Have the country live in their own comfortable bubbles and learn how to be comfortable and learn how to have real conversations. What I mean is all people having the ability to speak without being shut down. I think we're in an era. I think we're an era where we speak. We listen. We listen to speak. Right. We're not listening. We're not here. We're not hearing to ingest what another person's saying. We're waiting for our chance to go ahead and talk instead of listening. There's no empathy or compassion in this day and age. I knew there was a reason why we got along. I'm Irish. I'm Irish ass was treated poorly as well. Right. So when the Irish got here, they were fleeing a potato famine, right? In history, there was a potato famine. That's a lot of their agriculture, and what they ate was potatoes. So people were starving in Ireland. So they came here. And as soon as they came here, they said you had to be soldiers. If you're of age, you had to go soldiers, and they shipped them down there to fight in the Confederate or against the Confederates. Lift Every Voice and Sing is a symbol of unity, pride, and perseverance. Beautifully written poems, lyrics. I only heard it in recently, not in passing, but with the internet, so absorbed the meaning. Yeah, it is a beautiful rendition, and that's why they played it in the NFL. They call it the Black National Anthem or the Negro National Anthem. Thank you, Andreas. Andreas Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us. First time viewer. Really appreciate you participating. I think from our side, we want to have a conversation, but no one cares about our voice. They just want us to move on rather than hear our side. And to your point, Art, what do? After we hear these, after we hear these problems, what are the solutions, right? What are the solutions? Because we got more people like Art out there than we do Mr. Scott. The answer is not immediate indifferences. What happened to compassion? What happened to putting yourself in someone else's shoes? When did we become the norm to tell others it is not my problem? Deal with it yourself. Exactly. Exactly. This is supposed to be a Christian country, right?
Yeah.
A Christian country. This is supposed to be a country that is founded on the beliefs of Christianity.
Hey, Jay's best friend.
Oh, Jay's best friend?
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Welcome, man. Thanks for joining.
Birds of a feather flock together, man. We really appreciate you coming on, man.
I'll definitely have to see if you want to say
Thank you for coming on.
your friend on our dedication show, man. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for joining in. So I think that's what we need to do. We need to hammer those things out. But people without any power, just our little platform here. What can we do to amplify what needs to be done? I mean, there's policies and procedures that need to happen. I mean, you talk about, and we've talked about this before, redlining in the 50s and the 40s and 50s, where we could, African community could amass wealth. There's a systematic racism that's going on. I mean, the Malloys are living proof of that. Right. They lost their son to the system. They're living proof of this, and they deal with this every day. And if this was a different situation, I'm just going to say it. If it was Clayton County Police coming out to a domestic violence or a domestic disturbance, it wasn't domestic violence, a domestic disturbance in another culture, nobody would have went to jail. I wholeheartedly could say that because, for one, Clayton County is a bigoted county in Georgia. They took Jalen where he needed professional help. Right. He didn't need to be incarcerated. No. And they did not take the time to recognize that. If there was compassion, if people would just listen to the parents. But no, that was the first thing we wanted to do, was put this young black man in handcuffs and ship him off. Greg says, just because I can get an education in high-powered corporate positions with all the spoils does not make us now equal. Freedom is not in what we have or earn, but is in how we are allowed to talk freely within this nation. Very good.
Well said.
People aren't willing to listen or have conversations because they are too scared to be vilified. That's true. And that's the problem. My mama always told me, if the coat don't fit, then don't wear it. Hear someone out. You might learn something.
Right.
Lift every voice and sing. My mother, as a child, sung that song in school every morning. You're absolutely right. A former police officer, I've been on those calls where we just make the parties separate.
Right.
Yep. My big baby bear coming through with the word. The Malloys are on fire today. But yeah, I think Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Malloy, Art, we all have a great. This is like a small community, right? What affects me? What affects Art affects me, right? That's just how I feel. He's my brother. Don't care about his skin color or his skin tone. He's my brother. I grew up with him. Well, I didn't grow up with him. We went to high school together, and we played football. And I ate at his house, met his parents. So he's my brother.
Right.
I care what happens to him and his family. He cares what happens to me and my family. He wants to know, hey, Troy, I didn't know about that certain situation with why African Americans don't like the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, I get it now. And do we rewrite it? Tradition is not always good. Tradition is not always good. If your grandmother spit in the pot to wash it out before she cooked, and she says she did it because her grandmother did it, and you do it because she did it, right? Doesn't make that tradition correct.
Nope, it does not. Just because somebody else did it before you. And like you said, just what Art said just has me thinking about how many people, I'm going to say Caucasian white people, really don't know the reason why we dislike certain things, why we don't go certain places. It's because we all don't fall behind, and there's so many people that just follow what everybody else does. It's sad.
Right. Well, I think that's the reason why I just love history so much, because it's so important. Like my Aunt Shelley said, if we don't know our history, we're doomed to repeat it. We're doomed to repeat it. So you've got some conservatives, far right conservatives, who are really upset about this. You've got some people telling her to leave the country. Yeah, you don't like it, leave the country. So because I express what I feel, I'm exerting my Second Amendment right. You want me to leave the country?
Right.
That doesn't make sense. I don't believe this nation is fair towards any minority that walks the earth, especially if you don't follow the rules that they have established as law. Yeah, we do. We have to follow laws, but so do they.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so do they. But the laws don't always go against them like they do us.
Right.
You can say, I don't have to give you my license because I didn't commit a crime. And you probably are going to get tased or go to jail or something. They can say that, get loud, get mad, drive off, hit the corner, all that stuff. And still they just get handcuffed. You don't get thrown, tased. And if people don't see that is a pattern in this country, that you're not paying attention, then you must have your eyes closed.
Yeah. But then again, there's so much information out there. You've got people like Clarence Thomas. That's a whole different show. I'm not even going to get on there. Candace Owens, you've got the Hodge twins. They're all conservative, and they are speaking conservative points. They are African American, and they go completely against, what the majority of African Americans say. So you got white people who say, hey, look, these guys are saying this, so it must be right. And I just, as a collective, to have that sit down and have a discussion. I'm not saying that all conservatives are wrong. And I'm not, because I agree with a lot of the things conservatives say. Just like some of the stuff is implemented. Some YTs are happy with the status quo because it doesn't affect them personally, and they can't fathom anything happening to them. How would they feel if the Indians told them to leave this country? Exactly. The Indians, like I said in the beginning of the show, they got it the worst of all. Me and my daughter were or was my wife, and me and my wife were having a discussion about this. So, the big land purchase that they gave the Indians, I think it was the Iroquois that they made. So they had all in New York or whatever. So the Indians, their concept was they didn't know you could own land, right? They didn't think you could own land. So they're thinking, you guys are crazy. Yeah, give me all this jewelry. I like these things. Yeah. Sure, you want to own the land?
Yeah, give me cars. Give me some shoes.
Right.
The last thing that you're right. Because they did make us think we couldn't get it.
Yeah, Uncle Tom Thomas. We need to talk about him in another show, man. He just got rid of affirmative action. He climbed that ladder to get to where he's at and knocked it down so nobody else could use it.
Right, exactly. Okay.
If we want to get rid of affirmative action, that's fine. But then like you said, they got the legacy. Some of these colleges have what are called legacy admissions. You get admitted not by the status of your grades, or you get admitted because your father is Joe Blow, who gives $18 million a year, or your last name is such and such. There's a building on campus that's named after your grandfather. So you get to go to, they need to get rid of that too.
Right. So this is for Mr. Andres Rodriguez. I put up a link. So not this show, maybe because it's your first time, but next time you don't even have to type all that. You can just come on the show with this link I just posted, and we'll have you in here, and you'll be one of us. You'll talk right with us and everything. Just make sure you got your camera on and your microphone on, and then you don't have to do all that typing.
That's right, Mr. Rodriguez. You can just pop in on us anytime. It's an open forum. It's not just us three idiots talking, like I say all the time. We want people to join in either through the text conversation or actually come on the show. So we would love to have you on the show. The GI Bill was some BS. You don't have to read this if you don't want to. I write walls sometimes. The GI Bill, despite its good intentions, wasn't fair to African Americans, which is true. It offered benefits for returning World War II veterans, but discrimination speeded in. Banks and lenders made it tough for blacks and vets to secure loans for homes. That's the redlining that we were talking about. You know, you can't get loans for this certain home or in this certain area. But if you want to live over there in that bullshit area, yeah, we'll give you that. Limited their chances to build wealth through home ownership. On top of that, educational opportunities were often segregated and limited access to college. Yes, and that's the reason why we have HBCUs today. It's because African Americans weren't allowed to go to some of these major colleges. So, and again, HBCUs I've worked at and for HBCUs, they're not just black kids at these schools. There's all kinds of kids at these schools from every different culture you could name. But yeah, the education was terrible. I mean, if you even think about it, I went to public school. Me and Sharif went to Creston public schools. You go 5 miles to the east to East Grand Rapids. They had all the facilities. They had all the books, top of the line. And this was in a community that was a wealthy community. They paid more taxes. Yeah.
It's football field.
Yeah, college football field. You know, and the inner city schools shared one field, Hausman Field. So you had Ottawa, Creston, Christian, West Catholic, Catholic Central. We all shared one field.
Hausman Field. Yeah.
Hausman Field. They had their own field. And this place was like 6 miles away. But the education that came out of there, the resources that they had, was totally different from the public schools in the Grand Rapids area. He says he's shy though. In person with a group of people, I'm fine, but on camera, but if I get the courage, I'm down. We'd love to have you on, man. We're just having a conversation, man.
If you're comfortable with typing, I can read it. Troy, read it. It don't matter. I just thought I'd let you know that for next time.
He says, "Hey, I know all of those schools. Where did y'all grow up? We're from Grand Rapids, Michigan."
Rapids. I'm a Blodgett baby. Where was you born? Was you born in Blodgett, Troy?
No, I was born in Camp Pendleton in Oceanside, California.
Blodgett.
Oh, that's right. You was born in Camp Pendleton.
Art says, "Hey, now that Mr. Brown was top shelf." Yes, he was. Mr. Brown taught. Sharif's father taught at Creston. We had some really good teachers that were there, but those teachers didn't have the resources that other teachers had. We had some really good teachers. I'm not going to knock them. No, but the resources weren't there.
Art said he's a Blodgett baby. That's right.
Blodgett baby.
Blodgett baby.
I remember that too. I dropped him too. Wow.
Look,
Yeah. So, Mr. Rodriguez, you see. You understand what we're talking about. When we talk about we share in one field 7 different schools. Was Union High School still Was Union Sky High School still downtown
Yeah.
then? Yeah.
Yep, it is downtown outside of it. Yep. Wow, you didn't.
Here's when I knew the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance wasn't fair to us. I was once arrested in Muskegon for shooting a water gun in the mail.
What?
I was with 3 white boys. I went to a Catholic school. I was charged. They were let go because their guns were smaller. Wow.
Wow. Water gun.
Kidding me?
Wow.
Art said Mr. Brown scared the shit out of him.
Art, he's a teddy bear, man. He's a big teddy bear.
1980. Well, I don't think too much has changed, Greg, when it comes to even if you look at, the demographics, or even when people get, let's say, charged with the same offense, some people get less than others. First time, you could be a first time offender, and both you could be first time offenders. Somebody's going to get more time than the other person. That's why, there's the justice system is skewed.
Right.
I'm surprised they did that. But back then they would give you ALC.
Oh, I lived in ALC. I was ALC was like homeroom for me.
Right.
Me too, Art. I wasn't my teacher. I was a friend with his daughter.
Oh, with Keena.
Yeah, talking about Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
He's a big teddy bear.
That's right.
He's cool.
Yeah, Alternative Learning Center.
Wow.
Yeah, Mr. Brown's hit me there all the time. Troy, don't have your homework? Why?
You didn't
Just
never
didn't
do
do
your
it. Never.
Why?
But you know what?
Pass the class.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You know what? I got a trouble for telling my dad that I hate mine.
Telling them what?
I hate mine.
You said it. You got in
I
trouble.
said it right in front of. No, I got trouble at home.
Oh.
And he was working with my math homework, and it was tough, So I just said I hate math, and then I got in trouble.
Art stupid.
Good one, Art.
No,
Good one, Art.
it was junior high in Northeast.
Art is so stupid.
That was a good one, Art.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a great topic. Today was a great topic and a great discussion. I think we need to have more of these discussions,
Right.
but as a collective, think of some solutions to some of these problems that we have. I mean, it's obvious we've got some very intelligent people here: Greg Malloy, Art Ryan, Mr. Rodriguez. And all of us come from different backgrounds.
Right.
To come up with different solutions would be great.
Right.
How to move forward, because I'm pretty sure all of us have children and grandchildren that are going to inherit this mess of a country that we have right now. Mr. Read this story real quick before you end this. Okay. One time, Jalen and I were hanging out late at night. We got hungry, so we went to the gas station close to my house. We got lunch. We got a bunch of snacks, and we were going to head home when I suddenly got the idea to watch the new Kevin Hart special at the time. We were going to watch it a little bit before he knew it, we lost track of time. Suddenly, out of nowhere, 5 cop cars surround us. They're flashing lights and everything, everything pointing at us. I'll never forget how shaken up Jalen was. My heart was completely.
Wow.
Oh, it's more.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get the last bit of it. Here's when I knew. Okay, we read that one already.
Oh. Okay, I did that.
Amazing show, fellas. Yeah, I think it was I think it was one of our better shows. I'm glad that we, able to tell some of the history of why African Americans don't really particularly care for the national anthem, and somebody understanding, somebody from a different demographic understanding it. Art, we really appreciate you on here. It helps us see things through different lenses. And I think that's the problem with this country is everybody's looking at it through their own lens. And we need to start looking at it through several different lenses. So I think that's going to do it for tonight.
Yeah.
Sharif?
Yeah, I want to say thank you for watching IdiotBox Television. I appreciate you guys coming on. Next time, come inside with us. I'll see you guys next week in episode 98. Peace.
Peace. See you next week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
We're in a lot of trouble because less than 3% of you people read books. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. You're beginning to believe the illusions. This is mass madness, you maniac. In God's name, you people are the real thing.